Hey, welcome. Today, we're going to learn some really useful English idioms by following a story about a night out. Honestly, it's the best way to see how these phrases actually work in a real conversation.
You know those nights, right? You've got a plan, it's all set, and then something just completely changes everything. Well, our story today is about one of those nights.
Okay, so let's dive in. Our story starts with that classic question. Are we going out or are we staying in?
So the plan was super simple. A quiet night, maybe watch a movie, and just get to bed early. But you know that feeling you get sometimes? That little spark of energy that just tells you, nope, the night is not over yet. That's exactly what was happening to me.
So let's break these down. An early night is pretty straightforward. It's just when you go to bed sooner than you normally would. And that sudden desire for something more? Well, that's when we say we feel like doing something. I just didn't feel like staying home anymore. Now, my friend, he was perfectly happy with the quiet plan, so it took a little bit of work to convince him to get off the couch and join me for what I hoped would be a proper adventure.
A night out is, exactly what it sounds like. An evening spent having a good time somewhere other than your house. And that art of convincing someone, we call that talking them into it. It's a great, friendly phrase for persuading somebody.
All right, so success. My friend was on board. The only question now was, where were we going to go?
Neither of us felt like traveling far, so we settled on this new place we'd been meaning to check out. And the best part? It was super close to us, which made the whole decision incredibly easy.
And here's why these two phrases are just perfect together. When you try something out, you're basically giving it a test run, right? See if you like it. And if that new place is just around the corner, it means it's really nearby. It's the perfect combination for a last-minute plan.
So we get to the new pub feeling pretty good about our decision. But the second we walked in, yeah, it was not what we were expecting at all.
Seriously, imagine opening a door and just being hit by a solid wall of people. There was absolutely no room to move. The music was blasting. That's the feeling this phrase perfectly captures.
I mean, this idiom is so visual, isn't it? Just picture a little can of sardines all squished together. That's exactly what it feels like. It's such a great way to describe a place that is unbelievably crowded.
I looked over and I could see my friend was already uncomfortable. This loud, chaotic vibe was the absolute opposite of what he enjoys. For him, this was, well, a nightmare.
This is just a wonderful, classic, and very common way to say you don't like something. If a place or an activity is not your cup of tea, it's a polite way of saying it's just not for you.
And this is where the night went from just being not our cup of tea to something a lot more dramatic. We decided to try and get a drink anyway, and that's when it all kicked off.
I mean, it's like an unwritten rule of society, isn't it? You wait your turn. But in a place this crowded and noisy, somebody was bound to break that rule. And of course they did.
So to jump the queue, or as you might hear in the US, to cut in line, means to push your way in front of people who've been waiting. It's super rude, and let's be honest, it almost never goes well. It all happened in like 10 seconds. This guy shoves past us to get the bartender's attention. My friend, who was already in a bad mood, was not having it and said something. I immediately thought, oh no, this is a bad idea. And sure enough, the bouncer was there in a flash, and the guy was out on the street.
Okay, let's unpack that. When you take exception to something, you're vocally objecting to it. You're angry about it. By doing that, my friend was asking for trouble. Basically, he was acting in a way that was probably going to cause a problem. And the result? The bouncer had to throw out the other guy, which means he was physically made to leave.
So, after all that craziness, the atmosphere was just gone for us. It was clearly time for another change of plans.
We were so done with that place. We definitely decided to keep away from it in the future. We just left without any real plan, started walking, and we stumbled upon this cool, quiet little diner. That became our unplanned final stop for the night.
Now this is a really important distinction. End up is all about your final destination or situation, especially when it's unplanned. But turn out is about the result, the quality of the experience. So we ended up at a diner, but how did the night itself turn out?
Yeah, instead of a loud bar, we decided to eat out. We ordered a huge pizza and decided to go halves, which just means we split the cost 50-50. And you know what? It was perfect. The night actually turned out to be amazing. That chaotic detour led us to something way better.
So, I'll leave you with this question. Think about a time when your plans just went completely sideways.
Where did you end up? And more importantly, how did it all turn out? Because sometimes the most memorable adventures are the ones we never planned at all.